Today we celebrate the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. At the end of her life, God takes Mary, body and soul, home to heaven. The Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary is really about love. The Assumption is what happens when a sinless human creature loves God so completely and totally, and is so empty of herself, that his love can lift her, body and soul, to be with him for eternity. I think it might be helpful to use an analogy to see how this is so. As school is about to begin this week, along with theology, I also teach physics. And among the topics that they'll learn about includes the different physical forces, like gravity, centripetal force, the attraction of electric charges, magnetism. We experience these forces every day, whether we realize it or not, from things falling to the ground to magnets being placed on the refrigerator. These physical forces are a good analogy for what we could call the spiritual forces. Because there's things in the realm of our soul, of our spirit, that can also inspire us to move a certain direction, to act a certain way. So, for example, you might think of fear as being a kind of spiritual force. Because fear can prevent us from doing something that's dangerous. Of course, fear can also be negative. It can stop us from doing something that we really ought to do. I think we could argue that the strongest spiritual force is love itself. When we love somebody, it can lead us to do things that we might not do otherwise. Love can lead a parent to make great sacrifices for their children. Love can keep a married couple together through every difficult circumstance. If you love somebody, you're willing to learn new things maybe you didn't care about before. Put your desires on hold. Make difficult sacrifices. Love, in fact, can help us overcome some of those negative spiritual forces, like fear or temptations to sin. So think about how God's kind of gravitational force of love can act upon all of us. His love is always trying to draw us to him. And when we return this love back to God, that attraction becomes even greater. So we think about Mary, of how close she was to God, being the mother of God himself. Think of that mother's love for her son, and the son's love for his mother. Given this intense love of our Lord for his Blessed Mother, and the intense love of Mary back to our Lord, of how difficult it would be to separate them. Considering that there was nothing in Mary that was pulling her away from God, as there sometimes is in us. We have sin that often leads us astray. But for Mary, she was without sin. So there would have been nothing to holding her back. So when Jesus ascended to heaven, how strong the pull of love would have been upon the soul of Mary. So strong was that love that it could lift her up, body and soul, at the end of her earthly life, to be where he is. If the distant moon can have so much effect on the tides across the world, then the love of Mary for Jesus and of Jesus for Mary should result in a love that could lift her to where he is, her assumption to heaven. And the great hope that we have today is that our love can grow to be the same. And for God already loves us with the same infinite love that he has for Mary. And through the course of our life, we are to let go of those worldly forces pushing us away from Jesus and allow his love to enter us as it did Mary, drawing us each day closer to him. Where Mary has been assumed it is our hope, too, that the spiritual force of love will bring us home to heaven as well. So today we ask Mary, the sinless Virgin, to ask her Son to fill us with love for him and for her.